Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally reached the end of Supplement C, okay? Now, before I start talking about problem 9, I need to give a pep talk to you. This material is something you need to just spend time with. You cannot just watch this one time and feel like you've got it. You've got to practice it on your own. You've got to make some mistakes. You've got to come back and you've got to try it again. So to really understand this stuff, you really need to watch these videos. And I know you're coming to class, and we're going to reinforce it there too. But you've got to spend time with these over and over and over. It's repetition and it's pushing that pencil. Okay? All right. Problem number 9 is a problem that's referred to as linear depreciation. Basically what we're doing is a company buys a brand new piece of equipment for $100,000. So new piece of equipment is worth $100,000 when they bought it. Now you know what happens when you drive a new car off a lot. You've just lost money, okay? Well, the same thing happens with a new piece of office equipment. You buy it, it was worth $100,000 the day you brought it to the office, but it eventually, look what happens. It has a salvage value of $12,000 at the end of 20 years. Of course it does. It's an outdated copy machine. It's an outdated computer. It's an outdated whatever. All right? And it says in the wording of the problem, the equipment is to be depreciated linearly. There's your key. It is to be depreciated linearly over its useful life of 20 years. Okay? Again, part A, the graph, I'm not interested in. If you're watching my videos and you're not my student, ask your teacher if they want part A. Okay? And they'll be glad to show you if they do. All right? Part B, determine the function v of t. Now, v, all right, stands obviously for value, and t stands for the amount of time. Now, time, you know, since you've had the equipment, like, and we're going to probably measure this in what? Years, right? So time in years. So when I look at my legend, the input is t, which is measured in years, and my value is measured in dollars. When I look at my first statement, the new piece of equipment costs $100,000. That means at time 0, right? At the beginning, at time 0, the value was $100,000. And you know what's cool about this? That automatically gives me B. I automatically now know that B is 100,000 because that's 0. So that's really nice. The salvage value at the end of 20 years is 12,000. If I write this as an ordered pair, what comes first? Time, so the 20. And what comes second is the value, 12,000. So I have two ordered pairs. 0, 100,000, and 20, 12,000. Now, I already know V of t is mt plus b, but we had just been given b. I know that b is 100,000. However, I need to find m. M is the change in output, which is change in value over change in time. So, if I come up here, if I do 100,000 minus 12,000 in the numerator, 100,000 minus 12,000 divided by 0 minus 20. And when I type that into my calculator like we've been doing, we come out with negative 4400. Okay? So, that is what my m is. So if I pull all this together, let's go on the next page, v of t is negative 4400t plus 100,000. That is how I find out the value of my equipment at any particular time in years. I use this function. Okay? And what you should see is happening, of course you knew the slope was going to be negative because every year it's going to drop by $4,400. That's what the minus means. Negative 4,400 over 1 is every 1 year it drops by this much money. Okay, and then part C is just kind of, the easy part. What is the value after 5 years? Well, the value after 5 years is V of 5. Negative 4,400 times 5 plus 100,000. And when I calculate that, I will come out with a value of $78,000. Okay? And again, the cool part about this, if you're really catching what's happening here, what you really did when you went to this function is you started with 100,000, and for every year, which there were 5 of them, you took away $4,400, and that gave you its value. So keep in mind what you're doing here. This is the initial value. This is the original value. The slope is how much it's dropping in 1 year. Well, this time we did it by 5. Took that away from the original value and got $78,000. And we are done with supplement C.